Well, I've never coded before, and I've never really made art before. So, naturally, I decided to make a game on Source 2. Where have I been? I went on a camping trip, and then I got swimmer's ear. I went on another camping trip. I got terribly sick for 10 days, and I think I got walking pneumonia. It took me like a month to do this. Hopefully I can speed that up, because it took a while. Well, what did I actually do for this video? I started making a concept art piece. I'm not a 2D artist, so if you make fun of me for this, we're gonna scrap in the comments. But I made this to figure out the basic story and how I wanted the game to look, and it took me around a week to make. I also drew what I've come up as M.I.D.A.S, which the art piece technically isn't finished. I'm not showing you the entire thing here though. But he's an AI final boss for the game before you reach the Borealis. That I've kind of figured out. I need to figure out the between of that and like everything that happens, but it's slowly formed together. I 3D modeled the general blockout for the car, so it's mostly ready for getting better topology than it does now and actually looking really nice, hopefully. And then lastly, I made some music, which I hope to get better at. I don't think I'm that great at making music. I mean, it sounds okay. When I started the car, I decided it would probably be a good idea to email Tristan Reedford at Valve to ask how I should structure a car for a game, like how I should, start building it with all the polygons and everything, because I don't necessarily know that much about optimization, but what I did find out is that polygons aren't necessarily the thing that gets you with optimization. The thing that really, really bogs down your computer is shading. So like lighting and all that stuff. That's what I found out. But I still don't really, I want to try to use as minimal polygons as I can while making it look the exact same as if it were millions of polygons, which that would be called normal mapping. Normal mapping, Tristan told me not to do and it wasn't necessary. And he just suggested that I straight up model it for a decent workflow. What I did was I told him about the 2D concept art I was making for the overall concept of the game. And I sent leaks to it as well, which that was really the only thing I had going at the time, unlike now where I'm kind of doing several different things at the same time. And he responded back the same day and told me how he does his work, which I already mentioned some of that, and how I should optimize my workflow for developing the car. He started off with that he ordinarily doesn't do 2D before swapping to 3D for things like this. And he also told me he just jumps straight into 3D and tries to inject them into the engine as fast as possible to see how they look from a gameplay perspective. And that's exactly what I did. I did exactly that. For those of you who don't know, a hard surface model is a man-made object, something like a building, machine, robot, or vehicle, pretty much anything just non-biological that's man-made. Things like humans, animals, and plants are organic models. They're known as organic models because they have biological parts and are like, they're somewhat squishy, unlike a hard surface model where it's like, it's hard. Like it's very different from a cold hard rock or cold metal, which is hard surface modeling. So once I got the overall size and shape of the car in place, I decided to move to Source 2.
Hello. Do you know who ate all the donuts? Is anyone else getting hungry?
And I hated it. It was bad. I hated it. It was so terrible. It was super bad. It was so bad. It was the most rancid crap ever. It kept fighting me over and over again. Dimensions were off all the time. The textures wouldn't apply to the shapes I made. And the car was flashing red all the time. And it was painful. It was super annoying. It took most of my day to fix that. To fix just the texture issue and the fact that it was too big or too small. And it took me 5 hours, 5 total hours to fix just those two issues of the dimensions and the textures on the vehicle not being correct. But But I eventually got there, and I had enough. I had enough after that, so I quit, and I don't even know when I got back to it. It was either the next day or it was like a few days later. But once I stopped messing with Source 2 and Blender and all that, and got the dimensions right, I decided that even though it was supposed to be later in my timeline, because I'm kind of working in fourths here. The first, so 1/4 of the project finished was making the concept art. 2/4, which is supposed to be the one I'm working on now, is making the general models for the game and the overall look for the game, basically. And then 3/4 is making a lot of the things work. 4/4 is polishing the story, adding new elements to the game. Yeah, polishing the game, adding new elements to the game, and making the music. That's where I wanted to make most of the music at. But, I didn't do that. So I decided to make some music. I knew that I kind of wanted something that sounded like, a synthwave track, 1980s kind of stuff. So I got to work on that. It was pretty cool. So I started out with a bass. I thought this bass sounded cool. And then we have the kicks. That's what the kicks are like. Then there's the snare. The bass synth. Bass synth sounds fire, right? Then we have the hi-hat. Here we are, hi-hat. And then we have the VHS synth. Right, and it changes up there. The intention for this the synth here is to be kind of out of tune, I guess, because it's called Time Rider, right? I don't know. I think it sounds pretty cool. I definitely want to make better music, like I said. But, let's not keep you waiting on this. Let's let you hear the full... Let's let you hear all of them put together. We get the hi-hat when the synth is more bass synth is more aggressive, and then finally the melody. And then over here it swaps. And then the very last instrument that was added is this one right here. It's literally all it is. That's all that plays. That's all that plays. That's all that plays. So when we get to there, it sounds like this. I think it sounds all right. You know, I think it sounds okay. I mean, I feel like I could do better, but I don't know. It sounded good to me at the time. But the full song for that is ready to listen on my channel right now if you guys want to check that out. It's called Time Rider by orionvoids, which is me. I'm orionvoid. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that's me? Did you know that? 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 Anyway, segment 4. Here we go, segment 4. Once I got back from my trip and was extremely sick, I actually was away from my project for over 2 weeks still. I never actually went back to my project or even my computer for that time because I was just that sick. So when I finally got back to my computer, I spent time playing games to get back into the engineering mindset. So I started playing complex Minecraft mods and chill games to feel like creating things again, and also, like I said, get into the engineering mindset. So I don't know, here's some cool videos I took while I was making some crazy stuff on Minecraft. Once I was getting better, I went into improving the car again. There were a lot of weird clipping issues, probably because of how I blocked out the car. Probably why, because there were 2 separate objects jammed together, and then I somehow weirdly stitched it together. So there was a whole bunch of clipping issues, and polygons weren't doing the right thing. They were stretched across the entire car. Like the car looked fine, but there was like holes in it. That made me mad. I should have just used an eye tool to extrude a face off the main block, which was the, I believe the cab of the car. But no, I couldn't do that. I had to make 2 separate blocks so that there was a whole bunch of clipping issues and weird vertices all over the place that I had to go through and fix. So I started fixing up those while changing the overall shape of the car to give it the silhouette. I did, okay, don't get mad. Hold on, let me explain. I did use generative AI in my process, but it did not make any of the assets you were seeing. Everything you were seeing, it did not make. I'm the one that made all of that. The way I used it, is you can probably see in the video, is I just generated like a image of how I wanted the car to look. It was wrong, of course, because generative AI is stupid a lot of the time, unless it's text. Even then it's kind of stupid, but you know, it's whatever. I did that, and to try to get the general shape of the car, like the silhouette. And I didn't want to spend several hours drawing a crappy 2D image of the front of the car, the back of the car, the side of the car, and all that, just to get the general curvature right by being able to place the vertices in the right places. Most of the vertices on this car are temporary for the most part until I can, you know, get better topology and stuff in there. Or I might do retopology or something. Probably not. I don't really want to do that. I want to try to make my workflow so that I don't have to do retopology and this goes faster. Retopology, by the way, is where you know, say you have like millions of polygons. You have millions of polygons. You just pretty much make a low poly model over those millions of polygons that makes it obviously optimized and a lot better than, it's not going to be crap, because if it has millions of polygons, that's not gonna run well. That's not gonna do well. So you want to scale down the polygons. I don't want to have to do that. I want to have minimal polygons while having it look very good and not affect performance, because the intention of this car is for it to be with you through the entire game. So if the car has bad performance, the entire game is gonna have bad performance, and that's a no-no. But I got the relative shape of the car right. You know, the silhouette looks pretty good. During that time, before I got like the relative shape of the car correctly to what I wanted to be, I decided to draw M.I.D.A.S. And M.I.D.A.S, yeah, he's pretty cool, I guess. He's not a TV screen villain. He's more like a CRT computer screen villain, like computer monitor villain. I might remove the computer screen aspect. This is still technically in the concepting phase. The only thing that's legitimate is going to be the Borealis and the car so far. Other things may change along the road, but I don't know. Let me know how you guys like M.I.D.A.S. I think he's pretty cool. He's pretty evil. He's based off of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream and 1984. And my intention in the story is to make him self-aware of both of those two books and even mention them, so that, you know, insinuating that they existed in his timeline. But he's self-aware of what he is, and he knows those books and actually utilized them to become what he is now. It's a pretty cool. I'm trying to make a pretty decent bit of lore for that guy. He's pretty cool. If anybody has any suggestions about what his look should be, let me know. That's just what I've come up with for now. But so this is definitely 100% a project I want to keep working on, and I will finish this project. I will. I'm saying it. I will. I don't know how long it's going to take, but this idea will definitely come to fruition, no matter how long it takes. I hope I'm having some like weird internet outages and stuff all the time, so there's like weird stuff that, you know, kind of hinders my ability to do certain things sometimes, but I'm working on stuff all the time. I talked to Gabe Newell, in a private email, and from my conversation with him, I think I was talking to him about learning coding and how I should learn coding and how I can like levy AI with that, because I don't, you know, AI, I'm not like really that much of an AI advocate. I don't really generally like it, but considering things are changing and all that, and I might as well try to utilize it in the best way possible to make everything more efficient. My favorite way to use AI is debugging, because then I can instantly find the part of the script that could be causing errors or issues. While, you know, doing that by myself, it would probably take me hours, you know? So it's just an easy way to speed things up. But also, I want to use quiz. I want to use it to quiz me on syntax and stuff and programming concepts, which that was actually Gabe's suggestion for me for levying AI to do that. And he also said that's kind of what he does when he onboards people into vibe coding. But I don't want to vibe code. I don't want to do it. I think it's bad in a way, in like for the most part, because it's, I don't know. But I'm gonna be making a Minecraft series after this video. I should probably maybe release the first episode after this video, and it's gonna be centered around computer craft, so I can learn Lua. Lua is a programming language used to mod, I think, most of Valve's games. I think Counter-Strike uses JavaScript. I think they moved away from Lua and used JavaScript. I'll have to research more on that. I think that's what they did. And then, you know, so I'm gonna learn Lua. I'm gonna progress into JavaScript, then eventually move to C++, which is the more harder ones for the most part. Though when I was looking at the what am I saying? When I was looking at the syntax, I believe it's called syntax, like for the language basically. I liked C++ a lot more than JavaScript. It just looked more straightforward, but at the same time it might not be because you need to do memory management. It's weird, but I want to learn it. It'll be cool. And then I could make operating systems and other stuff if I learned it right. Well, I need to learn calculus. Bro, there's so much stuff I need to learn. Let's just end the video. I might also learn Java so that I can make Minecraft's mods down the road for you guys. With that being said, keep learning, stay curious, and we'll ship the next one when it's ready. I'm Orion, and I'll see you in the next build.